The boy who was never meant to be a hero, the dark truth behind Hercules. You grew up believing that Hercules was a story about strength, about triumph, a boy born from the gods, torn from paradise, and forced to earn his place among them. But what if that wasn't the story at all? What if Hercules wasn't chosen, but discarded? What if his strength wasn't a gift, but a cage? This isn't the tale of a hero. It's the story of a boy abandoned by heaven, raised in a world he doesn't belong to, manipulated by those who claimed to love him, and transformed into a symbol of redemption for a divine mistake no one wanted to admit. Because if you peel back the golden glow of Olympus, you'll find something else beneath it. A child caught in the aftermath of war, a pawn in the gods' game, a legacy he never asked for. And the truth? He was never meant to return. The surface story everyone knows. On the surface, Hercules is a story of triumph. A child of gods, Hercules is born to Zeus and Hera, destined for greatness. But when Hades learns of a prophecy that Hercules could stop his rise to power, he plots to eliminate the boy. Hercules is kidnapped, turned mortal, and abandoned on Earth. He grows up as a mortal farm boy, unaware of his true lineage, yet possessing superhuman strength. Driven by the desire to belong, Hercules journeys to the temple of Zeus, where he learns who he really is. To return to Olympus, he must prove himself a true hero. What follows is a classic montage: training with Phil, battling monsters, falling in love with Meg. Eventually, he faces off against Hades himself, sacrificing his life to save Meg's soul, an act that grants him his godhood back. But in a final twist, Hercules chooses to remain on Earth, valuing love over immortality. It's framed as a victory, a mortal turned god turned mortal again, who finds his place by following his heart. But if you pause for just a second, something feels wrong. The gods don't look for Hercules. Zeus doesn't protect him. And Olympus only wants him back after he's useful again. Maybe Hercules didn't choose to stay on Earth. Maybe he was never welcome above. The first unsettling detail. Let's rewind to the moment everything goes wrong, the night Hercules is stolen. Hades sends pain and panic to kidnap the baby god. They succeed, almost. Hercules drinks nearly all of the potion that turns him mortal, but not quite all. That last drop is interrupted, allowing him to retain his godlike strength, but not his immortality. Now, here's the first unsettling question. Why doesn't anyone from Olympus come looking for him? Zeus and Hera, literal gods, know their child has been taken. They can summon lightning, shape the cosmos, bend the rules of life and death. And yet, they never descend to Earth. They never search. They never fight. Instead, Hercules is left behind like an unwanted memory, a forgotten relic of a divine accident. When he discovers his parentage and confronts the massive statue of Zeus, only then does the god appear, and even then, it's through stone. There's no warmth, no embrace, just a task. Earn your way back. Hercules is told he must prove himself to be worthy of Olympus. But why should he have to? He didn't choose to fall. He was taken. The message is clear. In the world of gods, you are only valued if you are useful. The truth is harsher than it first appears. Hercules isn't on a hero's journey. He's on a divine audition. Every monster he fights, every life he saves, it's all just part of a test to reclaim a place in a family that never came for him. And even when he succeeds, they expect him to leave behind love, to trade it for golden gates and eternal duty. That's not love. That's legacy manipulation. And for Hercules, the weight of that legacy is the real curse. The hidden lore, mythology, symbolism, and the tragedy beneath the story. Disney's Hercules may be a family-friendly adventure, but its roots lie in one of the darkest tragedies of Greek mythology. In the original myth, Heracles, not Hercules, is the son of Zeus and a mortal woman, Alcmaeon, not Hera. In fact, Hera hates him. She torments him for being the product of her husband's infidelity. There is no loving divine family, only betrayal, vengeance, and pain. Hera sends madness upon Heracles, causing him to slaughter his wife and children in a blind rage. His heroic labors? They aren't acts of glory. They're punishment, penance, tasks meant to break him down, body and soul. So when Disney rewrites Hera as a gentle mother, it's not just a creative choice, it's a cover-up. It turns a story of divine cruelty into one of hopeful redemption. But some echoes of the original tale remain. The monsters Hercules fights aren't random. They're metaphors. The Hydra, a beast that grows stronger with each defeat, symbolizes grief that multiplies when ignored. The Titans are chaos incarnate, ancestors of destruction. And Hades, while comically villainous, still embodies more than evil. He represents the fear of being forgotten, the dread of the underworld pulling you into obscurity. Even the muses, who narrate the story through gospel, are keepers of myth. But in Greek tradition, they didn't just tell stories. They warned. They preserved the tragic truth so history wouldn't sanitize the pain. And what is Hercules' greatest challenge? It's not the monsters. It's not Hades. It's the choice between godhood and humanity, between legacy and love, between ascending to a sky that left him behind, or embracing the mortal life he built with Meg. And yet, Disney doesn't show us the price of that choice. In Greek myth, no decision is without sacrifice. The gods always take something. So what did Hercules lose by turning down Olympus? What was the cost of finally saying, "Number I choose my heart"? Was it freedom or just another illusion of it? The psychological breakdown, abandonment, control, and the hero built on loss. Hercules doesn't start his journey as a warrior. He starts it as an orphan, dropped from Olympus, stripped of his divinity, left with questions no one can answer. Who am I? Where do I belong? Why wasn't I wanted? These aren't just coming-of-age questions. They're the wounds that shape a lifetime. Hercules grows up surrounded by people who don't understand him, who fear his strength, who see him as a problem to be managed. He's not celebrated, he's isolated. When he finally learns the truth, that he was a god, it doesn't heal him, it shatters him. Because what could hurt more than knowing your parents are alive, but they let you go? And this is where the manipulation begins. Phil trains him, the crowds worship him, Hades tempts him, but not one of them sees him. They see what he can do, what he can become, what role he can play. Even when Hercules falls in love with Meg, it's not enough to free him, not at first. Because love requires vulnerability, and Hercules has only ever been praised for being invincible. He's told to be strong, but never taught how to be hurt. So he channels every ounce of pain into proving his worth. To Olympus, to the world, to the father who never came back for him. But strength built on rejection isn't resilience, it's desperation. And when Hercules faces his greatest trial, diving into the underworld to save Meg, it's not just an act of love, it's a test of identity. Would he give up everything to stop someone else from feeling what he always has? Alone, abandoned, unworthy. Symbolism in his transformation, the cost of becoming a true hero. When Hercules leaps into the underworld to save Meg, it's not a battle. It's a sacrifice, no weapons, no strength, just a decision to risk everything for someone else. This is the moment the gods call him a true hero. But look at what it costs him. His body begins to wither. His life force drains. He reaches through the river of souls, his face twisted in agony, fighting not a monster, but fate itself. And then, just before death swallows him, he shines. Golden, radiant, immortal. But it's not the kind of transformation you cheer for, because it doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like initiation. A rite of passage into the same divine system that once abandoned him. And when he rises from the river, reborn, glowing, the gods rejoice. He's one of them now, accepted, admired. But only after he suffered. Only after he earned his place by nearly dying for it. His transformation isn't a reward. It's proof that pain is the price of acceptance. And what does Hercules do? He turns it down. He walks away from Olympus, from glory, to be with Meg. But even that act of rebellion feels incomplete. Because he still carries the trauma, the need to be seen, the burden of proving he was enough all along. He may live on Earth, but the myth of Olympus still lives inside him. And as the stars burn his legacy into the sky, we're left with a haunting truth. He didn't break the system. He just stepped outside it, wounded, worshipped, and forever changed. The ending we misunderstood, what Hercules truly gave up. On the surface, Hercules' ending is triumphant. He chooses Meg, he chooses Earth, he rejects Olympus. Love wins. But what does he really walk away from? He doesn't just turn down immortality, he turns down belonging. The gods, for all their flaws, are still his blood. Olympus is still his birthright. For the first time, he's wanted, welcomed. And he says no, not out of defiance, but because he finally has something that makes him feel human, Meg. But even that love is fragile. Earth is mortal. Time is cruel. One day she'll die, and he'll lose everything again. His rejection of Olympus isn't the end of his pain. It's the start of a quieter, deeper ache. The knowledge that he was almost divine, that he almost had peace. But the gods demanded a hero, not a boy, not a broken child raised among strangers. They cheered for his strength, not for his loneliness. And in the end, the world remembers Hercules not for what he endured, but for what he symbolized. A perfect son, a golden legend, a story etched into constellations. But legends lie. And the real Hercules? He walks away not with a happy ending, but with a question that echoes forever. Was I ever loved for who I truly was, or only for what I could survive? The final truth? Hercules was never the golden hero they made him out to be. He was the forgotten son of Olympus, the mistake they tried to erase, then parade as a symbol of hope when it suited them. He didn't win because he was strong. He won because he suffered, because he kept running toward love, even when the gods kept moving the finish line. The truth? Hercules wasn't a myth. He was a warning that sometimes the ones we call heroes are just children trying to earn the love they were denied. And the next time you hear his story, don't ask how he saved the world. Ask who let him fall in the first place. Thank you for watching. If this changed the way you see Hercules, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Your support helps us uncover more forgotten truths hiding in your favorite fairy tales. Who should we unravel next? Let us know in the comments. And remember, behind every myth, there's a truth waiting to escape.